everyone, this is Tracey from Lavinia Stamps, and thank you for joining me today for another demonstration. We've got our cream multifarious card here, and I'm going to just use my Brayer and one of our Distress Oxides. This is called Old Paper. So I'm going to start by just inking up. I'm going to take the edge off, and then I'm going to start blending that colour up the card. Okay, so if we want to give it a little bit more depth, just repeat that process. Ink up, take that edge off, and just go over the top. Okay. So just popping those to the side. I'm actually going to use a very old stamp again. This is our Zen Mushroom House, and I'm going to ink up in the Nocturne. This is the VersaFine Clair. So ink that up, make sure that you've got that whole area covered. It's got quite a lot of detail on it, so just double check. And then turning that over, we're just going to bob that down. Give that a good press. Make sure that all that detail comes out. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to ink up in the Twilight now. I've got a couple of the Chinese lanterns here. I think they just about fit on that small block. Okay, so I cut one of the Zen mushrooms out earlier, and this is just to mask the area off for when I stamp over the top. So ink up, and then I'm just going to take that over the top. And these come in a set, so there's 2 in a pack. I'm going to ink up again. And I'm just going to bob that there. And then I've got a tall one here, so I'm going to need a bigger block for that. So just lining that back up again, inking up in the Twilight. And popping that over the top, like so. Give that a good press. Okay, and we've got our little lunar lights here. Okay, so again I'm going to ink up in the Twilight, and I'm going to just That's one of our most popular stamps, and it is beautiful, all the detail in that. It looks lovely when you stamp the first time and then the second time, giving that ghost impression, so it looks like we've got a foreground and a background going on. So that's quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to ground this now. So I'm going to use some torn paper. And then pop that down about there. And then taking our smoothie and our twilight, I'm going to go over the edge like so. Okay, now I'm going to go around the edge, all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to use a fine paintbrush now, and using the Brushos, I'm just going to do a little bit of painting. So just test your colours first, make sure they're not too strong. If they are, just add a little bit more water. So all I'm doing is just making the Zen house stand out by painting around the edge. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing around the Chinese lanterns. Just to make them stand out, I'm going to go around the edge. You get so absorbed when you're painting, it's really quite therapeutic, to say the least. You completely lose yourself. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with the lunar lights. I mean, these Brushos are so versatile. you can do some fantastic watercolour paintings. You know, you don't have to just spritz them or use them on the gel press. You can use them for so many different projects. And you see, just by outlining that, that's really made it pop out. So we're going to add a little bit of the yellow now. Just put the lights on. And I've got a little bit of grey here as well, so I'm just going to give this another depth by just going over, following the lines, and this will just make it a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay. So I'm going to use one of our worded stamps now. I'm going to ink up in the twilight. Just check that that is dry. They are water-based, so they do dry really quickly, but just double check. And then I'm going to stamp off. And just work my way up on the edge there. So let's have a look where my glue pen is. I'm just going to pop the glue on the base of the mushroom and then just put a few little dots up and around. And then dotting down from the lunar lights Okay, and now let's take a colour. We've got our blue-green glitter, so I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. So just tap that off and you can see how that glitter's just picked up. So there we go, guys, something a little bit different. You know, it's really nice to pick up your paintbrush sometimes and just paint with the Brushos. So I hope you enjoyed watching, guys. You take care and we'll speak to you real soon.